Hello everyone, we will make HSRP configuration in this lesson. First let me explain the topology here and then let's start to do our configuration. The turquoise area you see here is our LAN, on the green side here is our WAN, on the WAN side we have the ISP1 and the ISP2. We have two routers at our exit, router 1 will be our active router, and this router 2 will be our backup router, that is, we will have a router waiting in standby. We will give our users here the IP of 192.168.1.0.254 virtual router. The hosts here will log out to the internet through whichever router is active. The IP of our active router here is 192.168.1.0.100. The IP of our standby router is 192.168.1.0.101. We will configure both routers by giving them 192.168.1.0.254 as virtual router IP, i.e. standby IP. Hosts will know this IP and will make their output through whichever router is active. Now let's make our configuration starting from router 1. I turn on router 1, I go under interface gigabit 0/1. Our command is standby, let's choose its version first. Version 2. Let's determine our group number by saying standby 1, then write our standby IP, 192.168.1.0.254. After giving our IP, let's set the priority and make this router active. Let's say that this router will be active by saying standby 1 priority 110, because the default priority is 100, we determined that this router will be active by making it 110. Using the standby 1 preempt command, we indicate that this router will always be active. Now let's check our settings. Standby version 2, standby 1 IP 192.168.1.0.254, or we have indicated that this router will be active by typing its priority. Using the preempt command, we also mentioned that this router will always be active. Now let's look at using the show standby brief command. Here the group number is 1, the priority is 110, the preempt command is active, and this indicates that the status of the router is active. Here it shows that it does not know the standby status because we have not done the standby configuration. Now let's do the standby configuration. Let's open router 2 and enter our commands there. I choose standby version 2, standby group number 1, IP address 192.168.1.0.254. Here we enter the preempt command and finish our configuration. We do not need to enter priority here, by default this is already 100. Let's check our settings by typing end, let's say show standby brief. Right now you can see that the router 2 here is in a standby state, so the router active here shows that it is also standby. Let's look at router 1. When we look at router 1, it shows that it is active and its priority is 110, and its standby router is 192.168.1.0.101. Now since our host here is active in the router here, it will exit over the router here. Let's open host A immediately and do our test. I write ping and I ping Google. Our ping is gone, but let's see which router we are logging out of using the tracert command. As you can see now, 192.168.1.0.100 is active over the router. Let's close our interface here on our active router. When we close the interface, the router here will automatically be active and our traffic will go from here. I turn on router 1. Interface gigabit 0/1 shutdown. I close the port by saying shutdown. Now let's go to router 2. Now that the router here is active, let's try again from host A. As you can see, first it went to 192.168.1.0.101, so now the traffic comes from here like this and exits to the internet via ISP2 through router 2 here. Now let's make router 1 active again and let host A's traffic leave it. On router 1, I open our interface by typing no shutdown. Soon, our router here will be active again. Let me speed it up a little bit over there. When it accelerated, the router 2 here went into standby. Router 1 has also taken on its role as active. Now let's try the host again. Now 192.168.1.0 is exiting over 100. There was a problem with the router here just now, and since the host here can no longer exit through this router, the router here has made itself active and the traffic has come out of here. But now the problem with our router here has been fixed and it has switched itself back to active mode. When it is switched to active mode, the hosts have now accessed the internet through this router, and this is how we make our configuration. That's all we have to configure HSRP. We've made our default router redundant by using 2 routers in our network, so goodbye to see you in our next lesson.